everyone, it's Gwen. And as you can tell from the title, today I'm going to be telling you guys what kind of music I've been listening to lately, specifically what my current favorite albums have been this past month of November. I have 2 albums to be sharing with you guys today, so without further ado, let's get started. The first album that I've been listening to a lot recently is Moose Blood's new album, Blush. This album has skyrocketed the past few months and gotten Moose Blood a lot more attention and have gotten their music a lot more popular. I started listening to this album over the summer, I think around August, and since then I've just become more and more obsessed with it. I hadn't listened to Moose Blood until this album, and I really enjoyed this album. The whole album has a very constant vibe, which I like because all the songs seem to go together very nicely. For me, the songs have kind of blended together in terms of I don't really know which one is which. And for some albums that might be annoying, but for this album I don't really mind it. I love the way the lead singer Eddie sings in all these songs. The way he says certain words reminds me a lot of the classic emo style. This band has a very unique sound. I've heard that they've been called pop punk. I don't know exactly how pop punk they are. I feel like they're more emo than pop punk. I feel like they're on the softer side of pop punk and more towards emo or just alternative. But overall I really like their music. The opening track on this album is Pastel. I think that's a great opener because it's very catchy. It's a good song that represents the vibe of the album because the choruses are really upbeat and catchy, but the verses are pretty chill. Right after Pastel, we have the 2 big singles, Honey and Knuckles. These are definitely the 2 most upbeat songs on this album. Honey was the first song I heard from this album and from Moose Blood, and I instantly fell in love with that song because of how catchy it is. Knuckles is another great single, and you can always kind of tell that it's Knuckles because it has that really specific beat that starts the song in the beginning. My favorite song on the album is Sway. I have always loved the chorus of this song. Not only is it super catchy, but I also just love the way Eddie's voice sounds when he's singing the lyrics of this song. During the chorus specifically, his voice gets kind of raspy, and I really love that. It reminds me a bit of Joe from Knuckle Puck, and I mean, you all know how I feel about Knuckle Puck. They're one of my favorite bands. Another thing I love about this song is I love how the instruments are really just kind of chill and relaxing, and there isn't a lot of instrumentation of this song. It's mostly just Eddie's powerful, raspy voice taking over the song, and I love that. Spring is the most relaxing song on this album, and for that it's actually made my chill playlist. It reminds me a bit of Clairvoyant by The Stories So Far. It has that same kind of relaxing acoustic vibe. It also reminds me of Brand New because of some of the emo lyrics. Overall, I think this is a solid album for Moose Blood. It certainly helped them get more popular, and hopefully they can continue to build off great music like this. I'm really proud of them for this album. I think it's terrific, and I hope to get it on vinyl eventually because not only is it very aesthetically pleasing and beautiful, but I've heard it also sounds really good on vinyl. And the second and final album that I have been obsessed with this month is the 1975's new album, I Like It When You Sleep, For You Are So Beautiful Yet So Unaware of It. I'm proud of myself that I'm able to just say that, and I know it. This album is so amazing. I've been blown away by how great this album is. I started listening to this album and the 1975 in general, I would say July or June. I kind of gave it a listen. I thought it was alright. And then it just slowly continued to grow on me, and I was like, wow, this album is actually incredible. The sounds that they use in this album, it just blew my mind away. And every time I listen to this album, I hear a new nuance or something new and amazing that I never heard before. And I love that. I think every time you listen to this album, it's like you catch a new surprise, a new cool little beat in the background, and just the way that they've overlapped and used electronic synths and it's kind of ambiance and stuff like that. I just think this is a fantastic second release for the 1975. Their first album I don't know quite as well, but I really do enjoy that one too. And this one I think just blew that one out of the water. I think that this is just incredible. Obviously the title track, the 1975 for this album, is so cool because it sounds similar to the opening track for their first album, but it's just been changed a little bit and more electronics have been added to it, and I think it's very cool how they did that. Right after the 1975 come the 2 most upbeat songs on the album, Love Me and Ugh. These 2 songs are very 80s influenced. You can hear the synths being played and all the electronics, and I just absolutely love these 2 songs. I always just get up and dance to these, and they're so catchy and they're so fun. And I don't know, I just think these are like the perfect dancey songs for this album. I also like that they put them right next to each other. I don't know, I think that's a really cool thing. And then after we have A Change of Heart, which is so beautiful. She's American after that is also another one that's more upbeat and more catchy. My favorite song on the album is The Sound. And, well, okay, it's between two. It's between The Sound and Somebody Else. Those two songs, and I feel like those songs are so different from each other, but The Sound is, I think, the first song I've heard from this album, because it's kind of, you know, it's popular-ish, you know, it's been played in movies and like in the clothing stores. I remember I heard it when I was in garage in the dressing room. It came on and I started jamming, and then it was also played in Me Before You. During the wedding scene, the song was played, and yeah, it's definitely also one of the more upbeat songs. And oh my gosh, it's just so catchy, and I think I fell in love with the chorus of the song. I think it's great. I think that the verses are also super interesting in this song and just very fun to sing along to. So The Sound is definitely my favorite song on this album. But I also love, like I said, Somebody Else. That is another one that just hits me in the feels every single time. And it's like, I want to cry when I listen to that song, but then it's like, okay, but the beats are also really good that it's like, okay, I could also jam to this as well. So, oh, that song is incredible. I know that's another fan favorite from this album, and you know what? It deserves to be a fan favorite because it is incredible. The lyrics in that song are so just like heartfelt and meaningful, and I don't know, I think that just the way they did that is so pretty, and also the way it kind of builds up. It's just a fantastic song, full of a lot of emotion, and it is incredible. Another highlight from this album for me is definitely If I Believe You, and this song is so cool. I love the message of the song. It's, you know, about him struggling with believing in God and religion, and kind of just questioning religion in general, and some of the lyrics from the song are so powerful, and I just think that the way the lyrics are written, like I said, they're very powerful, and the background synths and sounds kind of draw you in, I think, to the story, the struggle that he's going through, and I don't know, I just love it so much. And I love the kind of, there's parts where it kind of sounds like a church choir in the background, which I think is a great touch, you know, where they say, had a revelation, then you kind of hear this like, oh, from like the back. And I just think that's so cool. I think that it's a great touch that they added in that church choir. Also a part where he's questioning God, he's saying something like, you know, why did you make me an atheist then? And just some of the lyrics, if you really sit down and read the lyrics and listen to his struggle, it's really interesting. And I think this is one of those songs that's almost like an anthem or just a work of art. And I mean, the build-up from the verses to the powerful chorus is incredible. This is definitely another one of my favorite songs from this album. I think it is just so powerful and deep, and I love it a lot. I know a lot of people don't like some of the 1975's instrumental songs, and then, you know, the people who don't like them, well, the fans will get angry at them because, you know, I think they're a work of art. And some of the ones on the self-titled, they're great. They're great. But they're not, like, my favorite. Like, they're fine. Like, I could do without them, you know what I mean? Like, they're good, I agree. But some of the instrumental songs on this album, I think, are so amazing that they don't even need words. And some of the ones on the self-titled, they're good, but, like, I could use words, but the one on this album, I don't even need words. For example, the long 6-minute song, the self-titled song on this album, is so beautiful, and it kind of is like a journey when you listen to the song all the way through. It's like it starts out very slow, and then you kind of have these, like, I don't know, like chime sounds, and like, I don't know, just the way that they composed it is so pretty. Same with the other instrumental song, Please Be Naked. I think that's also a really cool one. Not as much my favorite as the self-titled, but still really beautiful. And I also love where they decided to put those instrumental songs. I think the whole thing is just composed so beautifully. And I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I am pretty sure this album is going to be my favorite album of 2016. I think it is that great. I think it just deserves so much more recognition, especially for people who like indie music, just alternative in general. If you're more into, I don't know, pop punk or harder music, give this a listen, because I know plenty of people who don't like the softer, more indie things in this genre, an alternative genre. They like more pop punk and harder things. But I know people that have felt that way and given this album a shot and surprisingly loved it. And I think this is an album that I think I could see anyone enjoying, really. It's just so beautiful, and all the songs just tell stories, and I think it is a great album. I am in love with it. I'm like still constantly listening to it so much, and I just think it is a work of art that should be appreciated a little more. And yeah, I really want to get this one on vinyl as well, because I just heard that all of their music sounds incredible on vinyl, and yeah, so I'm kind of saving up for that, because I think that would be really nice to have. But yeah, those are the two albums that I have been listening to on repeat for the last month, and even before then. Like, I've been listening to these since the summer, and then this month, they were like all I listened to. So yeah, I encourage you guys to check out both of these albums if you like any alternative music. The Moose Blood one, even, you know, if you're not into screaming, there's no screaming. It's not even, like I said, it's pop punk, but it's almost like a softer, more emo version of pop punk. So it's not that intense, or the instrumentation isn't even like that crazy. It's nice. It's kind of stripped down and real, and I really love that about it. Same with the 1975. It's relaxing. I listen to it a lot when I study too, and it's really nice. And yeah, so just please give these albums a chance if you haven't already. But other than that, please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!
And love me.